This is Johnny Wrestling, or Johnny Takeover, as my shirt says. And listen, I want you to listen. Like, we're involved right now. It's crazy, it's loud, it's hectic. We're in New York City, but I want you to listen to the No Holds Barred Network.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 16 of the NXT Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all WWE, NXT, NXT UK, and now home to the All Elite Wrestling. Guys, if you want to go check out the network, go follow it on Twitter at NHB Network for all your updates on the network and for all podcasts such as this one, the NXT Podcast. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host and CEO of the No Holds Barred Network, Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined by my co-host here on the NXT Podcast. He is the host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood, Michael Chow. Michael Chow, we are live on YouTube today.
Whoa, look at us, and I feel like I got to get it out here. Welcome to the NHB Network Penitentiary. Too soon? Too soon?
Well, I mean, we're not going to prison. I'm just going to put that out there. But yeah, we're trying something different today, guys. Going to do
full disclosure, we're not the one going to prison.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. But guys, we're trying something new today, doing the YouTube for once, but it'll still be available on all platforms to listen on the go: Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and Spreaker after we are done recording here. Just gonna try something new. You know, we're doing some YouTube with the All Elite Podcast. You know, might as well try it with us. And I'm finding it easier to convert it myself when you do a YouTube live, because that way after it's loaded, I can just convert it easier than doing the opposite. Because when we do a Spreaker live, I have to then get the video captured from OBS and then tie the two together. And that's why sometimes it's always late getting uploaded to YouTube. This way, I can just go to upload to YouTube, and it takes 2 seconds to convert it. So, trying this out. It might be a routine thing here with the NXT Podcast. Might just stick to YouTube, and then everything else will be posted after. But guys, welcome to episode 16, titled "One Trick Pony."
A lot of us got tricked. I got tricked, but later on.
We have some opinions with this week's episode of NXT. A little bit difference of opinions, but this episode is also going to include a quick prediction of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view happening this Sunday, which I totally forgot there was even a pay-per-view this Sunday. And we're also going to do some fan tweets. You guys want to tweet into the show, just tweet us at TheNEXTPod or use the hashtag AskTheNext on Twitter, and we'll read your tweets live here on the air. As for the network itself, guys, and if you're new to the podcast and you're new to the network, I'm going to put the graphic on the screen for you guys. The No Holds Barred Network is actually your #1 source for wrestling podcast content. You can see all the shows there and all the show logos. You have the NXT Podcast, which covers NXT mostly and some of the main roster. You have the Lowdown Show Retro, which goes over some retro Raw and retro pay-per-view reviews. You have the All Elite Podcast on there, which covers anything All Elite Wrestling. And you have the UK show, Near Fall News UK, which covers mainly NXT UK, but then he also does a lot of indie stuff within UK, our boy Craig Messy over there. So you got a variety of content there, all on one network, guys. The NXT Podcast, Lowdown Show Retro, All Elite Podcast, and the Near Fall News UK.
Whoa, that's a lot of content. Man, how much is this stuff going for? Is it going for $9.99? Is it going for the old pay-per-view WWE price of $29.99? How much is this going for? Because I could use a little bit of extra cash here.
Here's the thing, Michael. For not a limited time, forever, maybe, right now, you can get the network for, all right, get ready to get your credit cards out, everybody. $0.
$0?
Free. Yes, that's right.
That means
free.
No money is going into this podcast at all?
That it, right there. That big
Okay,
zero.
no. You know what? I'm sorry. Guys, this might be the last time I'm on here. I might just jump over to AEW like everyone else. I got to make that money, man.
Okay, well, Michael, I mean, we're about to hand out some lucrative contracts, some contracts we haven't done here before in the network, like 5 years, and give you as much money as you want. So, Michael, don't leave. Don't leave. Just stay here with stay with the podcast, please.
Because I got to tell you, I haven't seen our old podcast Brian in a long, long time. I think he might have made the jump.
Who?
Brian.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
yeah.
He kind of jumped ship already. So,
yeah,
he was on the retro show, but now he's gone over to I don't even know where he is.
Probably went to the same place that Asuka went. Hey, Asuka into the main event of WrestleMania.
But ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, if you're new to the podcast, we talk mainly about NXT, which me and Michael feel is the A show in the WWE, and we go over a little bit of the main roster stuff because, we got to fill in, got to give our opinions on what's going on in the main roster, especially because there is a pay-per-view this Sunday, and wow. Not the most hyped pay-per-view ever since it's got one of the biggest matches ever, like another historical match with the Women's Tag Elimination Chamber happening on Sunday, and you look at it from the outside, and you're looking at the card, and you're going, like, this is supposed to be, like, a first time ever, and I got, like, no hype for it. Like, it's, to me, with the history, and it sucks, because it's WWE's history, and that's what gets me not hyped for it. It gets me not excited. I get no hope for whatever their creative decisions are, and they're doing some of the good creative decisions recently, like giving the titles to the Revival for only one reason only, and if you choose to deny it, then I think you're just straight up delusional. The only reason they're doing this is to stop people from going over to AEW. They don't want their talent to go over there and have a bad rep because they're not getting anything done creatively that's positive towards them, so I'm going to leave and go to AEW. They can sit there all day and say, it's not big. We've always wanted to put the titles on Revival. No. You only did that because they were threatening to leave. They're liking and tweeting at the Young Bucks, and basically, like, they're on the verge. The door was open. They're about to leave, and then all of a sudden they get the titles, and everything disappears. And there's a stuff with Ambrose, but I think I'm pretty much almost certain that it's a work. So I don't think he's going to AEW. But yeah, there's reasons for their methods recently for the right creative decisions. And that is because of AEW. If AEW wasn't starting up right now, it'd be a completely different story. Revival wouldn't be tag team champions. They'd be jobbing to Titus and Apollo Crews or something shit like that. People can't sit there and deny that. It's true. If you choose to deny, you're literally delusional. So.
No, I hear you. It was very weird that they won. They should have saved it for the Elimination Chamber for the Revival to win, and now they're just pissing off Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, so it's just a matter of time before they make the jump. I feel so bad for Bobby Roode. Do you remember that guy?
He needs to go back to a single. He was unreal in NXT. It shows you. You just look at the current NXT crop that just got called up and how misused they're. That's why I fear for everybody that gets transferred over from NXT to the main roster because they don't use them properly. They don't literally. If you have to take them as they are in NXT and continue that in the main roster, or they'll fail. 100%. Look at the Heavy Machinery. Like they're nothing. They're going to be that comedic job tag team. They'll win once in a while. They're not going to get anywhere near the championship. They might be in like a championship scramble with a bunch of other tag teams. They're not going to get anywhere near that title. Then you look at EC3, who literally I think is like 1-2 or 1-3 in his main roster career so far. He's a joke. They're not doing anything else with him. Nikki Cross should be in the main event, is not, because I understand why. Their main focus obviously right now is the storyline with Becky Lynch, but Asuka's got nothing. Put Nikki Cross versus Asuka. That will sell. Why they're not doing it, I don't know.
It'd be pretty bad now since Nikki Cross jobbed to Ruby Riott this week on Monday Night Raw, which, awful. By the way, there was no interaction between Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey, and it confused me that they're facing each other at the pay-per-view when there was really nothing there. But we'll save all that for the prediction show. I mean, should we dive straight into the A show?
Let's get into it. NXT, and I don't have the soundboard with me because that ties into Spreaker, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get the soundboard over to OBS and YouTube. But usually I would be playing the NXT chants right now. But we'll just jump into NXT this week for your
NXT.
There you go. Thank you, Mike.
NXT live chat. Come on, baby. NXT.
I don't need a soundboard. I want to have Michael over here.
Yeah. NXT.
Anyways. So for your February 13th episode of NXT, guys, we are highlighted by Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the main event tonight. or for that night. I was really looking forward to it, and actually lived up to his expectations. It was a really good match when we get to it. But we didn't open up with that. We opened up with Dominik Dijakovic. I'm not sure how they're saying.
The joke, huh? The joke.
Dijakovic. I'm so bad with names. And
what was wrong? So he previously appeared on NXT when he first debuted as Donovan Dijak. What was wrong with that name? That name sounds great.
Yeah, this one.
Why they had to switch over to Dominik?
This one's got
Dijakovic. My God.
This one's got the old Vince McMahon. We're just gonna cut your first name out all over it. We're just gonna call you Dijakovic. Or Dijakovic.
The joke.
The Djokovic.
The joke sounds good. The Joker.
Anyways, he's facing off against Shane Thorne. So I'm just gonna call him Double D. Double D. He was billed as moves like a cruiserweight, but has the strength of a heavyweight. So I mean, he's got like an interesting build towards him, and he's got something different. That's what gets you by in this company too. You're not a copy and paste of like another wrestler. You have something to bring to the table. He's got what brings to the table. The guy is a beast when it comes to strength, but the guy can also move pretty quick like a cruiserweight. So he's got somewhat of a complete package going on. We'll just have to see how his promo work does. But a lot of the NXT fans are doing, they're keen on that feast your eyes kind of thing. So Shane Thorne, I guess, is keeping the whole heel gimmick alive with, I think his partner's injured, I'm pretty sure. That's why there was only him out there.
I mean, remember his partner had asked for his release, and then he went back to Australia.
That's right.
Because if you guys don't know, Nick Miller, he actually just has a newborn. He just had a kid a couple of months ago. Traveling is really bad for a pro wrestler, guys. You're literally at home maybe like one or twice a week if you're lucky. And he's from Australia, so it's very hard to get back home. So he decided this life wasn't for him, and if they are moving forward with an NXT territory in Australia like they are with the UK, we might see Nick Miller back. But as of right now, he's picking family over this business, and hey, I can't be mad at him for that. So wish the best for him.
Shane Thorne carrying over the heel, so he's still sticking as a heel, which is good, because if I would have seen him change to a face here, probably would have been the same. But I think he's playing it pretty good. They kind of touted him as winning by any means necessary. Like, he's the worst person to try to win. Like, he had the worst all over his gear and all over his T-shirt. So that's what he was touted as. It was a decent match. The one spot that really, really impressed me was right near the end. Where,
I'm looking at the GIF right now.
Yeah, the Djokovic does that backflip off the turnbuckle.
Whoa!
Super kicks Thorne on the top turnbuckle off, and he's on the outside. But then he gets up to that top turnbuckle really fast and does like a tilt-the-whirl clothesline to the outside. And for, again, like we said, the guy is huge. He's 6'7". And for a guy to have that much athleticism, he's bringing a lot to the table, and he's got, like I said, almost a complete package, which, promo work is a big thing when you're talking about a complete package with a wrestler. So other than that, his in-ring skill is like top-notch, and it basically reeks of NXT all over it. So he's able to hit his finisher, which I'm not sure what he calls it yet. I don't know if he calls it.
He calls it the. They need to change it, but they call it the feast your eyes.
Yeah, so he's got you in like you're kind of like upright on his shoulders. He kind of flips you over, and then when you land on your feet, he kind of knees you in the face. So it's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, it's essentially a reverse GTS.
Yeah. So yeah, in a way, yeah. So it was alright, I guess. Yeah, I agree with you with the name. It needs to be changed. That's got to be something. But you know what I got the vibe of, like right near the end of the match when he was like, "Feast your eyes." I'm like, oh no, Ryback, stop.
Oh,
let's not do a Ryback thing here. Let's not. Let's kind of cut that out.
Doesn't he need to change it to feast me more? Feast me more. Feast me more.
Feast me more. Oh my god! But when he does that, I find it weird when he does that thing where he's pointing at both eyes like. Ugh. I laugh at that. I can't.
The fans seem to be on it, man.
They are, but I can't take him seriously when he does that. I cannot take him seriously. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, please don't do that ever again."
Well, I totally agree with you, man. This is a really great prospect, and Kyle's right, because when I saw him do that backflip, I literally looked up his stats. What Kyle says is true. This dude is 6'7", and he weighs 270 pounds. It may not look like it because he's a tall guy, but this guy is essentially almost the size of Batista, and he's doing these type of aerial moves. So this is really good, and if they could, I just hope he gets a better push than Lars Sullivan right now, guys. Lars Sullivan's very questionable. I hope the guy.
The name's gonna suck for me because I can't say it properly. I'm gonna have to like listen tomorrow and then say it over a bunch of times, and I gotta like sit there and say it a bunch of times for me to get it because right now I can't get it. I'm so illiterate that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt me.
They need to go back to his original name, Donovan Dijak. That's fine.
Yeah.
Who made that call? Dumb, but yeah. Okay, match to start out with.
Yeah. So we moved on. We had an Undisputed Era backstage promo. They talked about their rough start in 2019, obviously, because they lost the tag team belts. Adam Cole was without his North American Championship, so they're kind of beltless right now. But they talk about that by the end of 2019, they'll be all dripping in gold. And I want to make note here. He didn't really say it, but Roderick Strong mentions that Cole and Riley are back together. Or not Cole and Riley. Riley and Fish are back together.
Yep.
And they're going to be trying to go for the tag team belts. So that leaves Adam Cole trying to go for the North American belt, but he didn't really say it. But in a way, Roderick Strong's kind of saying, like, okay, I'm going to be having a title belt too. But he doesn't mention the NXT Championship, which I think was on, this is me just thinking about it, I think it was on purpose. The old storyline that I brought up months and months ago about saying that they are eventually going to kick Roddy out, I think is going to play a factor here. I think Roddy's going to probably want the North American Championship as well, and that's going to create some heat between those two because I really don't think all four of these guys are going to stay together that long. I love it, but to me, for some reason, I got this funny gut feeling that Roddy is still just out of place here. So the fact that he didn't mention the main championship kind of has me thinking, okay, maybe there's going to be something with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong here, both trying to go for that belt. So that was something key that I thought maybe we should keep an eye on. Cole went on to saying calling Ricochet a one-trick pony. He's going to take care of him tonight and prove that 2019 is still undisputed. They all do their little hand thing. One thing I want to take out of this promo, I don't know if you noticed it, Michael. All their shirts still had the WWE shop sticker on it, the little silver holographic sticker you get in a brand new shirt. They're on all their shirts. Except for Adam Cole. I'm going, oh my God. They really couldn't take that off. Like, no one noticed that before they were recording this promo, that you just went to the shop really quickly to get 3 shirts for them to put on. Like, what the hell? And you watch the taping later on that night, and they're gone. The stickers are gone.
You ain't heard, man. It's the new style. You buy stuff with the tag still on, then you return it.
It was just.
It's almost as though the WWE is like, we can't give you these shirts for free, so we appreciate if you leave the sticker on and then give it back so we can sell it again.
I mean, like, it's not bad. I'm not trying to say ruin the promo or anything, but to me, it was like a little nitpick thing that I noticed. I'm like, why the fuck's the sticker still there? Anyway, so we moved on from that. We had another backstage interview with Io Shirai. And Kairi Sane. This was after the match last week, and basically, they're asking Io about what happened there, and saying that she proved that she can beat Shayna Baszler. And then the interview was like, Kairi, what do you think about that? And I was hoping for Kairi to be like say something about Io Shirai, but she kind of just agreed with it. But then Bianca Belair comes in, and she basically says, like, you know, like, let's wait here. I think I still deserve a championship opportunity. The whole weird thing about this whole interview was that when Bianca Belair left, she said she was still undefeated. I don't know if that's on purpose, and that she's gonna turn into this psycho character who still thinks she's undefeated. Maybe that's like an ego thing with her. But to me, I was just like, what? And, like, I wish Io and Zayn would have said something about it, and they didn't. So or the interviewer, but they just let her say it and then walked off, and that was the end of the promo. So I'm like, what? Like, are we getting is Bianca Belair the psycho here? Like, is that what this is? Like, she's gonna just walk around thinking she's undefeated and go on a losing streak? Like, what's gonna go on? What's happening here? So to me, I was a little bit confused by this.
Sound like a botch to me. I have a theory because, I mean, I'll get more into it later. I was not a big fan of this episode of NXT, and I have a big suspicion that this episode aired at a place because they do tape in advance. And it just, I don't know. There were a lot of mistakes on this show, a lot of bad creative decisions, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, seems like a big botch. She is defeated, so
we'll
see where
defeated.
this goes.
Yep.
She is defeated.
So we had Humberto Carrillo and Stacy Irvin Jr. Humberto Carrillo, man, so impressive. That guy screams like he could be something bigger than he is right now because his in-ring work is amazing. They need to start pushing this guy, whether it be on 205 Live or something, man. The guy is incredible, and I guess he just had they're talking about that he just had a match with Buddy Murphy, and Buddy Murphy took him to his limit. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch that if that was actually a decent match. But before they could even face their partner, Cassius Ohno comes out here. I'm going, wait, I'm like, what the fuck? I thought for sure he was gonna go and attack them, but he has a mic and he says in his 2-year tenure with NXT, he's noticed a lot of things. He sees a lot of familiar faces with the crowd, and he sees the regular faces of NXT, the notorious Full Sail crowd, and says that he looks around and says everyone makes him sick, and then detests everything they do from chants to their noises, and he's being sour, like being a sourpuss about whatever he's mad at. And he says that he's out of here and he's going to go to a place where he feels more appreciated and he can do more. And then I was waiting for an AEW chant. I'm like, that's an interesting thing to say right now. But as he was finishing, he turns around and Keith Lee is standing there. Keith Lee knocks him out with just a rolling punch. And he gets on the mic and tells Levy goes on and goes, "Oh, no." He tells Ono not let the door hit him in the ass on the way out, and actually the crowd was really, really behind Keith Lee here. I don't know if this is starting a Keith Lee and Ono storyline, but there was a backstage video after of Cassius Ono basically packing up his shit and leaving, so who knows what's going on with that. But he basically says, let's keep the show rolling. Street Profits come out, so it's the Street Profits versus Carrillo and Irvin Jr. What'd you think of that? Like, that whole Ono and Lee thing, though, first, before we get into the match?
I gotta be completely honest, because Keith Lee came out here and it looks like his entire promo was him kind of singing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not doing a singing gimmick with Keith Lee, are they? It's unless they're trying to do it, because you know how the whole
I think that was just that
glory
one
thing.
Yeah, I think it was just that one part he sings. I think it's just because it's what he's known for from the indies.
Yeah,
so
unless you're trying to plug it into the whole, you kind of sing when you say bask in his glory. If you're trying to do that, but you know, Lars Sullivan has left the company. No, I'm sorry, not the company, but the brand NXT. Right? They need someone big to fill that void, and that person can be Keith Lee. He is a lot more than what they're giving him, and they need to do something with him because I'm not liking what they've been doing. So we'll see. For a minute there, before we jump I don't mean to jump the shark, but I just swear I thought Cassius Ohno was going to get back and ruin the match for everyone with the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo and Stacy Irwin. And this would lead to some type of tag match between Keith Lee and Street Profits versus, I don't know, Cassius Ohno and two goons he'd find. But jump the shark. It didn't happen, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason was because what we got in the match itself. So if we talk about the match, Street Profits came out and then Montez Ford mocking Cassius Ohno on stage. I was pissed myself laughing at that. That was hilarious.
That was good.
But they started out with a comedic start to the match, you know, as Montez Ford does. But then we got a sudden change, and they mentioned it on commentary. Basically, they are showing more of an aggressive side. And the commentator is saying this is new for the Street Profits. They want to show a more aggressive side to show that they can compete in this division, and they're better than what they've shown so far. So even throughout the match, these guys were literally serious about everything, hard hitting, getting their shots in, and doing a lot of stuff that's not normal for the Street Profits. Almost a little bit, you're breaking the heel wall a little bit. But like I said before the match, I was very, very impressed by Humberto Carrillo. This guy is a stud. Very, very good in-ring work. There was a crazy spot here that I want to talk about, and it causes the crowd to go silent for 2 minutes because they're like, what the hell? Is he actually hurt? That back suplex by Ford and that very, very tough to look at landing by Stacy, right in the back of his neck. Everyone's like, oh shit, from their side, what they could see. From our camera side, we couldn't really see it, but it looked very dangerous. I don't know if that was meant or it was just that. To me, it kind of looked like Stacy kind of went too, he was supposed to almost go a little bit farther, and he didn't, and when he came down straight down instead of on his back. So it kind of landed on his neck. So I wouldn't have blamed Montez Ford. I wouldn't even blame Stacy here. I think it was just like shit like this happens in wrestling once in a while. So it was actually a tough spot, but he ended up being okay. It looked like he was fine. But it didn't help them because Street Profits ended up gaining momentum. Best part of the match, I thought, was when Ford was up top. They're setting up their double finisher, and he gives the DX chop. And I'm going, what? Wait a minute. He really just give the DX chop here? Like, is that a shot at Triple H? Is that something to do with Triple H? I don't know what was going on there. He gives the whole DX chop. They hit their finisher for the win, and they look serious, man. Even Street, you look at Montez Ford's face when he was taking the pin, like he was like serious and very aggressive throughout this match. So I thought this was good by them. And then again, you brought it up before we went on the air. It kind of was a little bit confusing because we didn't know if they were turning heel here. They got on the mic and they kind of gave like a pretty, not really aggressive, but a very like
uncharacteristic promo with them, because they're usually like, they get the win, they jump in the fans, they're all stirring the pot and all that stuff, having a good time. But it's confusing because I felt like it came out of left field. It's not like the Street Profits were on a losing streak and they kind of just broke and they kind of just went into the serious place, but it came out of nowhere, and I was just very confused what was going on, to be completely honest.
I think, and it goes back to what the commentator said, they want to be more aggressive and want to be taken seriously for a change when they say now they want to go for the gold. Like they said last year they were trying to go for the gold, but they're still like their comedic selves and less aggressive, and it really didn't work out for them. I think they want to be taken more seriously now, so they're going to taking a different approach to their tag team. The crowd was still behind it. They were saying you deserve it when they were talking about they wanted a title shot. They called out the War Raiders, but War Raiders didn't come out necessarily at first. It was Marcel and Barthel coming out 9999. And the crowd, if you listen carefully, the crowd's saying Doc. That's in yes for German.
This guy is the new Ty Dillinger. 9 instead of 10. 9.
They claim that they deserve the opportunity at the War Raiders. So in a way, they kind of do. They've been pretty impressively, so they have a case. But then they're interrupted by Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, who also have a case about how they deserve a tag team title shot. They don't even say any word. They just get in the ring and get right into everyone's face. That's what I love about these two. They're that style. They're hard hitting, but they're also like, they don't waste time speaking. They just get right in your face. Then eventually the War Raiders actually come out after this big argument ensues. War Raiders have mics on them and says, you guys basically want the titles. We're here. Step up and make a move. So as they're walking towards the ring, they actually get blindsided by the Undisputed Era, and then they made note of it on commentary. Like, oh, well, Undisputed Era making the move. They just said for someone to make a move, but Undisputed Era doing the dirty tactic, blindsiding from behind, beating the shit out of the War Raiders, and then throwing them in the ring for everyone to just brawl with each other. And then the War Raiders getting the upper hand, obviously, as the champs. And I think this is a big tease for the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I'm really thinking that that's the way they're going to decide this, unless they do some sort of mini tournament without the Dusty Rhodes Classic. But it seems like that's a yearly thing that they want to continue. So I think it's a matter of time now before we do get the Dusty Rhodes Classic announced, with all these teams being competing members in it with other teams. You can see Humberto Carrillo in there and Stacey Evans Jr. You're going to get the Street Profits. You're going to get Oney Lorcan and Burch. You're going to get the Undisputed Era in there. You're going to get Barthel and Barthel. Fuck, I'm botching their names. But there's a lot of tag teams that could be in this tournament. They'll probably introduce some maybe from the PC Center or off the top of my head.
Hold on. You forgot someone.
Keith Lee and Matt Riddle?
No. The key word, you forgot someone.
Oh, the Forgotten Sons. Oh, yeah. See,
I was sure that the Forgotten Sons were going to come out here, but they got to play up their gimmick. Mm-hmm. They're forgotten.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be either next week or the next couple of weeks, or maybe the new set of tapings that happen in a week or two now. We're going to get the announcement of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and we'll finally get some matches going with that. And then the winner will face the War Raiders at TakeOver New York for the tag team titles. So that's the thing. That's the thing. The direction they're going into with this. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have any predictions, or if you agree with me there, or what's on the mind of Michael Chow here.
It's tough because there is no NXT TakeOver in between NXT TakeOver Phoenix and NXT Takeover. Whatever they're calling it, I heard they're calling it NXT Takeover Brooklyn. I heard they're calling it NXT Takeover New York.
I think it's New York because the tickets that me and Tiff have say it says Takeover New York on it, and I think they're sticking with this 2019 thing because this is 2019 there. So far, that's 2 Takeover logos with the word 2019 in them. I'm not sure what's going on with that, if that means anything, but the whole 2019 thing, I don't know. But it says Takeover New York, so I think it's going to be Takeover New York because I don't think Triple H wants the Brooklyn name. I think he wants to associate that with the summer, which is tough this year because it's in Toronto. So I think they're going to just name it Takeover New York.
So there's a lot of time between then and that huge event. So they can really get the tournament started now. You know, do what the first Dusty Rhodes Classic did. Make teams out of singles competitors, you know, that could just plain job to them. Put Keith Lee and Matt Riddle in there. They're kind of buddy-buddy. Have Cassius Ohno just go find someone. You know, it could be a huge tournament between now and then. If not, I can honestly picture them doing the ladder match from last year was really, really popular. One of my favorite matches, if not my favorite match of the night. They could possibly do like a fatal 4-way NXT Tag Team Championship ladder match, which would be totally awesome. So,
yeah, I could see that. That could be something. It's tough. I really want to think it's Dusty Rhodes Classic. That's just me, though. But that's actually an interesting idea, too. So we moved on. We had a Johnny Gargano promo. Basically, it was like a year in review of what he's done in 2018. Him talking about 2018, he was a different Johnny. He thinks this Johnny is a more serious Johnny. He doesn't let anyone tell him what to do. He only lets himself tell him what to do. They showed his recent title win at NXT TakeOver Phoenix, which I was a part for, which was huge. Then they basically promote the title match next week, Gargano versus Velveteen Dream, which I'm looking forward to. I didn't read too much into it. It wasn't a spoiler, but someone said you want to keep your eyes on the match next week. Apparently something happens during the match next week, which is huge. I don't think it's a title change, but I think something happens, so we'll see what happens.
I unfortunately do know what happens because it was spoiled to me online on social media, but it is something big. Something big does happen next week, but that's all I'm going to say.
So we're going to keep your eyes on NXT next week. You're going to want to tune in. So we had a women's match here, which very, very... So I'm going to have to agree with you on this. I don't think this... Yeah, I already know your reaction is here. This was not the greatest. Again, a lot of people love to say we love to pump NXT's tires and say it's the most perfect brand in the world. It's not. It's got its faults, and this one was very, very poorly creative decision. I know what they are going for, but it really wasn't that well played out. So we had Tanara Conti, my girl. Shame, because it really wasn't good showing by her either. Versus Aaliyah. Aaliyah being billed as the bad and bougie, so another new gimmick for her, of NXT. Basically as a badass girl wearing custom stuff. So they were saying like her ring gear was customly made by Versace.
By Gucci. By
Versace.
Gucci. Just give her the freaking Kardashian gimmick already. I don't know what the... I'm not trying to stereotype or anything, but just give her the Kardashian gimmick. Yeah. What else?
So eventually like the match started out. Then Vanessa Bourne came to ringside, and I'm going, what the fuck is she doing out here?
Hell?
I'm like, that's interesting. And I kind of knew it was going to be her. If what they were like, I knew with Aaliyah, because I've read live event results, and they were doing something with Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah during live events. So they're bringing the shit from the live events to tapings now. So she basically watched the match. Eventually led to helping Aaliyah win by grabbing onto Tanara Conti's leg as she's trying to do a turnbuckle move. It led to Aaliyah hitting her interesting finisher of wrapping the leg but then like hammering the back of the head with her leg, which made the person tap out. Weird to make a black belt like that tap out that way, which is, again, another poorly creative decision.
They did the same thing with Matt Riddle. What is up with these brand new hitting someone until they tap?
Yeah,
I'm not getting this.
So Shayna Baszler and her cronies eventually come out.
Oh, God.
They start attacking everybody in sight. And then Shayna, basically just a pissed off woman who's sour about her losing last week, gets on the mic and saying basically to everyone to don't get in their way, and most importantly, don't piss them off, and then end of promo. I was like, okay, was this really needed? Like, could we have had Io Shirai come out and do something to save them, or like do something else than what we got this week? That was just literally crybaby wah all written all over it. Just like, cool, Shayna, you're pissed off because you lost. Okay, shit happens. Don't be a baby about it. And she was being a baby about it.
There was so much stuff wrong with this booked segment. Like, first and foremost, I know what they were trying to do here, but and this is nothing against Aaliyah, nothing against Taynara, nothing against Vanessa, but you couldn't get any more credible wrestlers to come out here, because what do I care about Shayna and friends beating up these three? This had the same amount of thrill as Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke getting beat up. Like, who cares? Who cares? I mean, am I supposed to care that they beat up these three that we haven't seen on television? They seriously could not get anyone else. They could not get any of those people who they got from the World Rumble. They couldn't get Casey Canzaro. They couldn't get Zhao Li. They couldn't get anyone else. They couldn't at least get one of the three. They could not get Bianca Belair. They couldn't get
a good segment whatsoever.
This was not good.
No.
The wrestling was bad. The ending was bad. Mm-hmm. I just feel bad for anyone who was involved in this. What was this trying to prove? And the fact that Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir has lost every single match they've been in since debuting in the company. This has been booked so bad for Shayna and her friends.
How do you take them seriously? Like
I can't.
And the mask thing is throwing me off too. Whatever, I don't know what happened to her nose or something, but that mask is really throwing me off. To me, it was just like, this was just really poorly done and could have been a lot better, which they didn't go in that direction. But we'll just move on from it. And we got the main event, Ricochet versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole coming out alone, shockingly. I really thought his goons would come out with him, but this played to the end of the match. This is actually a really, really good match. If you guys missed Ricochet versus Adam Cole, very, very well done for a NXT episode match. We can't get a takeover match on NXT. I understand what they're trying to go for here. We still got a good match out of it, because mostly throughout the beginning of the match towards the middle of it, it was Adam Cole working on Ricochet's leg. And it's smart. It's a smart tactic. You take out Ricochet's leg, you prevent him from doing a lot of these high-flying moves, which for Adam Cole really didn't pay off, because Ricochet still fought through most of the pain to get some of these moves off, especially that one where he jumped from the rope. And he usually does his 450, but he played. It was awesome. This wasn't a botch. This was him actually selling the leg injury that he couldn't do his 450, so he turned it into a senton, which landed on Adam Cole's legs. So that was really cool by Ricochet. I give him props for that. There's lots of near falls, which was really cool too. It really got you into the match and got you really hyped at the end of the match. Unreal finish by Ricochet, man. Hitting like all those moves in synchronization, and even the fourth one. So we've seen the three of them. The three first ones he does is like a regular Ricochet signature, but then he turned the last one into a sick finisher. Forget what they called it. And he was able to pick up the win, and that was massive. That was a huge, unreal match by Ricochet. But then the Undisputed Era goons come out, and they're coming, and they're attacking, beating the shit out of Ricochet. And then an unlikely character here comes out for the save, which really goes, okay, what? Like, we know he was at the takeover at the end. It was something to do with Adam Cole. But Aleister Black comes out here and tries to save, but doesn't work. The numbers game from Undisputed Era obviously takes over here, and I was kind of waiting for a third, but there wasn't, which kind of threw me off a little bit too. But then we end the show with Undisputed Era over both bodies, giving their Undisputed logo, hand gesture over all three of them, and that's how we end the show.
I was very confused by this ending. Mm-hmm. That is not good, because this is like going on Raw and SmackDown territory. Any show where I just is left confused is not a good sign, because Aleister Black, there was no setup to this. I mean, there was a perfect opportunity. You had a backstage segment where it looked like Roderick Strong is basically saying that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are now the tag team, and now he's going to pursue a solo career with Undisputed. It would have been just fine if you couldn't take out 5 seconds for Roderick Strong to run into Aleister Black and say, hey, guys, look at this guy. Oh, you lost. You lost your title match against Tommaso Ciampa. You really think you deserve another title match, this and that? Then, because I personally believe that a match between Aleister Black and Roderick Strong would be great, then it would make sense why Aleister Black comes out at the end. But there was no setup to this. Why was Aleister Black out here? This didn't make any sense.
To me, I only saw it made like this much sense, like a tad of sense, because of what the whole Adam Cole and the NF Takeover thing. But then they kind of resolved that at halftime heat. So to me, I was like, was it really needed, or is Aleister Black just kind of making a case that he should still be in the North American Championship? Is this setting up possibly another ladder match for the North American Championship like we got last year at the Takeover before WrestleMania to debut the belt? Maybe this is what it's leading to. So you get Adam Cole, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano obviously in there, and then 2 other guys. Maybe, like I said, Roderick Strong finds his way in there, and this is where it starts a tension between Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, saying, oh, why are you in this match? Like, we're supposed to be all but draped in gold, and maybe Roderick Strong's like, oh, but this gives us a better chance that one of us at least wins it, so then the other one can pursue the main title after. So I think there's method to the madness here, although it doesn't make sense for this kind of episode of NXT. I think this is going to lead to something, and to me, I'm going to go with it straight out of the gate here, that this is potentially going to lead to another ladder match for that North American Championship at NXT TakeOver New York. So other than that, though, it was very confusing, because when you see him come out, you're like, okay, what? You're trying to... And I understand, everyone, you try to picture, and you're like, okay, what are they doing here? Like, why is it not making sense off the bat? But again, and I do agree it didn't make sense, but I think there's going to be... I hope that it goes in that direction. If not, that whole thing really did make sense. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see, but I gotta be completely honest. Like Kyle say, I know we've been known for saying NXT is always great, but there are some times. I mean, when you love a
bland episode, a little bit of bland. Yeah.
When you love a product so much, like NXT, you can recognize when something is not good. And I gotta be completely honest. Creatively, booking wise, and all the confusion. This might sound harsh, but this for me was honestly one of the worst episodes of NXT's I've seen. Just so much confusion, so bad booking. I felt like this episode was out of place.
For me personally, I wouldn't go that far. I would say maybe the worst episode of the year.
Okay, yeah.
I would say that, but yeah, we're entitled to our own opinions, but I say it was pretty bad. There was some highlights out of it, which I hope an episode like this would be better when you have Ricochet, Adam Cole going at it. The only thing good I took out of it was that, and the Humberto really impressing me. So before we get into our who's next, what's next, let's kind of just wait a little bit, guys, and transition over here to the official sponsor of the Extreme or of the No Holds Barred Networks. I put the graphic up there for you guys. ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, guys. They specialize in pro wrestling and MMA apparel with over 50,000 t-shirts, sweatshirts, costumes, DVDs, and pennants in stock right now. So you're going to want to check out ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, guys, and guess what? We have a promo code for you to use, and that is NOHOLDS, NOHOLDS, no holds at checkout, and you're going to save yourself a 10% discount. That's right, 10% on your order you're going to save by using the promo code NOHOLDS, and then one lucky fan per month that uses the code will actually receive a free gift along with their along with their Extreme Wrestling shirt order. So guys, go check out ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, the official sponsor of the No Holds Barred Network. So go check them out. Pretty good website. I've ordered a lot of stuff off there. We've actually had a free gift recipient who's in the chat right now, Datila, who's actually received an order from ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com one time. I think she won a contest with one of our shows, and she actually received a Randy Orton RKO pendant along with her short order. So it does work, guys. So you guys are going to want to use that promo code No Holds, and you can receive a free gift. It could be anything. I mean, I'd be happy to get a free gift. I mean, especially the word free. Come on, guys, you're not paying for it. As much as whatever your opinions are on Randy Orton, I thought that was pretty cool. I'd be actually happy with a Randy Orton pendant. Not going to lie, I just add it to my whole wrestling cupboard collection that I have of I have everything. There's a cupboard I have in the other room that's got so much stuff in it, from the New Day Bootios box to the AJ Styles gloves to the Paige Funko Pop. It's got everything in there. I keep this room with all my posters you can see in the back, and a little bit of the autographs. So from yours truly over there, Michael Chow, who's I've won a couple contests when he had a podcast. I have a couple of autographs that he won. Actually, they're up there. Can't really see them, but I have Bailey and Carmella behind me up there that I won from Michael Chow. But anyways, guys, we kind of want to throw it up into here. We're going to eventually do something like that as well. I want to save those for big shows. probably could have done a contest with the last one we did with the takeover stuff, but I don't know, we're still in creative works here at the podcast. We're gonna do something good for you guys. We want to have a lot of fan interaction.
Mm-hmm. I have been talking with Kyle, guys. There is going to definitely be a prize giveaway for our Slammy episode, which is still to be announced, guys. We're really working hard on getting these categories and all this stuff together. We want to be a good one. Plus, we want to have one of the other co-hosts come onto the show. And it's a lot to review, guys. We're not only reviewing in awards for NXT, but the main roster. And there was a lot of garbage on that. So... By the way, when you and Cappy used to do the old Slammy Awards, my favorite ones was just basically the negative stuff about WWE. It was like who was the worst wrestler, what was the worst match of the year. Those are the fun ones I like personally. So.
Oh, we're gonna include that. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
But let's get into who's next, what's next, guys. Basically, this part of the show we go over what's next for a particular storyline. We kind of give our prediction of where it's going to lead to and what our prediction is going to be for that particular storyline. And then who's next would be our guy, wrestler of the night or segment of the night for NXT this week. Whoever gets the thumbs up and the thumbs down, which we'll start with that with the who's next segment. So my who's next thumbs up this week is going to go to Humberto Carrillo. Like I said before, the guy really impressed the shit out of me this week. His in-ring work is fantastic. I have a lot of faith in this guy to be used properly. I hope they use him more in NXT rather than 205 Live. 205 Live, I know he's going to get his chances, but like there's not a lot of traction and eyes on 205 Live, more so on NXT. So I think he'd be a good addition to NXT. Like the roster's a little bit trimmed out right now, so he could have a good, decent spot, depending on how his promo work is. But his in-ring work is fantastic, amazing. So I'm giving him a thumbs up to who's next to Humberto Carrillo.
Very good.
So Michael, who's your thumbs up this week?
So my thumbs up, and I'm going to try and do my best to pronounce his name. My thumbs up this week goes to, and I actually have to read it off here, Dominik Dijakovic.
Oh, that guy.
First try, guys. Yes.
Double D.
Okay, never mind. Double D's. Double D's. Is how many K's? Oh, double D's, double K's, double I. Let's see here. Now we'll do it. Wow. Dominik Dijakovic.
Someone's got the Jeff Jarrett thing going on there.
I know, he should start doing that. And he kind of looks like him too, with the haircut and everything. But my for who's next in the big time, I'm very impressed. This guy, 6'7", 270 pounds, to be able to do those backflips and whatnot. If they book him right, I love his finisher, but I feel like when he goes into the main roster, they're going to change it because that looks like it has injury written all over it, that reverse GTS. But, this guy could be something big. He kind of reminds me, his look and whatnot, his size kind of reminds me of Heidenreich, but hopefully they can do something better today.
Heidenreich. Oh, my God. I remember that
you
guy.
Remember him?
Remember when he joined Animal for that one stint? He was there as the Road Warriors going.
I actually like Heidenreich. I like his size. His look was good. And I like how he used to, when he was paired up with Paul Heyman, he used to come out in that straitjacket. That was great. But then his in-ring wrestling was not good. Every pay-per-view he was paired
stiff.
up.
Very, very stiff.
Yeah. Every pay-per-view he was paired up with Undertaker, I just cringed. But this is something they could have had, but it's not always there. When Vince sees a big guy, he always sees money, but it's not always the case. So yeah, that's my who's next for who's in the big time, who I see has a big career, Dominik Dijakovic. So, Kyle, who do you think is your who's next, as in who's the next jobber not doing so well? Who's your pick?
It's tough. I don't want to say it, but they're not. The direction with her is not that great, man. It's I'm going to go with my girl Taynara Conti, and that's sad because I hype her up so much. Man, like, they have potential with her character to do stuff, and even her in-ring work, her judo background really shows a lot in it. They don't do anything with her, which to me is upsetting. I think it maybe has to do with her promo work. It's got to tie into that. There's something that's throwing me off about it, especially this week. It's probably because it was a rough week. There's something with that. So it's not looking good for Taynara Conti, so I'm giving her my who's next thumbs down jobber.
Hey, it goes back to, if you love something so much, you recognize when something's wrong, and I know how much Kyle loves Taynara Conti, so when you're recognizing that when your favorite superstar is not doing well, I mean, all you can do is just hope for the best. It's you know what, Tainara, if you guys want to look at what she could have been, go back 2 years ago to her first appearance in the Mae Young Classic when she was ultra serious. And she had this really good music that was like a very serious music. She came out here. She did not smile. She would bow, and her judo skills was actually really good. She was like lifting girls who were like double her size with no problem at all. Like I saw her do like a belly to belly backflip to Lacey Evans, who's like twice her size. I was like, dude, there's something here. But then they switched her character. She used to be this girl who comes out here. She sings to her theme music. She's all girly now. That is not the direction to go.
No, it's
not the direction.
It threw me off so much. I'm like, oh, that's very upsetting because they could do so much with her. So, who's next? Thumbs down.
My thumbs down is an overall, and I was talking about throughout the show, my thumbs down for this week on who's the next jobber. It goes out to WWE booking this week. I mean, not even WWE, NXT booking this week. Very confused. Yep. A lot of bad decisions this week. A lot of confusion going down here from why is Aleister Black out here? Why the whole Shayna and friends beating up these, not to be rude, these Shayna and friends beating down this low card talent. Like, how am I supposed to be invested by these girls who keep losing? You know, and Bianca Belair saying she's still undefeated. I was very confused. Don't get me wrong, there were a lot of good wrestling matches, but just booking wise, it was not for me. One of the lowest episodes, just confusing for me. And yeah, this week goes to NXT booking. Triple H. Did you go on vacation? What happened, dude?
Must have. He's focusing that whole thing with the main roster. I mean, he's up there, and they're doing the whole thing with Becky Lynch, man. I mean, maybe it's the creative direction is slacking a little bit with him not there. So,
man, this week with Becky, we got to talk about that later on in WWE discussions. But man, what happened? That was bad.
As for what's next, I kind of already gave my opinions on a couple of things through the show. I said that I think the Dusty Rhodes Classic is going to be leading to the tag team, and I think the North American Championship is going to be leading towards a ladder match for just like they did last year at the TakeOver New Orleans. So I'm not sure if you have anything different, Michael. What you think? What's next for a certain or storyline?
Gotcha. So we kind of already briefly talked about this. Kyle thinks it's going to be the Dusty Rhodes Classic, which I think is a great idea. I personally think that it's going to be a tag team, multi-tag ladder match at the NXT TakeOver in New York. You want something different from last year, and just to bring back the magic. I don't think we've actually had a multi-tag ladder match in NXT. Like, I think we've had a singles one. I think wasn't it DIY and Authors of Pain was in a ladder match, I think.
Oh,
but other than that,
no, it was Authors of Pain and TM61. It was the it wasn't the shark. Oh no, wait, that was a Shark Cage. Yeah, I don't think we've had a ladder tag match.
Yeah, so let's get that back in there. And I have one more. So I have for what's next. Cassius Ohno basically saying that he's done here and he's packing up and he's leaving. It wouldn't make any sense for him to go to the main roster because he would just get killed. And so I personally believe that he's actually going to go to NXT UK. So I feel like he's going to dump this, exit this, and then go to NXT UK. Maybe he might be used better there, or he might just job some more over there. I don't know. Okay. But, by the way, I heard that his girlfriend, Rachel Ellering, just got signed by the WWE, and there was someone else. She goes by Karen Q from the Mae Young Classic. She also got signed. They released like a photo like a couple of weeks ago. The new signees.
With all the signees? Yeah, I saw that. Someone made note of that too. They zoomed in on some guy's face and it was like all like, I don't know if he meant to do that face. It was a little bit weird, but I did see that photo. Yeah, that guys, that's it for who's next, what's next. So let's lead into the main roster. We'll kind of just briefly discuss what's happened this week, and then we'll lead into our Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. There is a pay-per-view on Sunday. I don't know if anyone knows. There is a pay-per-view on Sunday. It didn't really catch Raw and SmackDown this week. I kind of briefly look at the highlights for it. Didn't look like anything special happened this week. The only thing I could point out was the whole Becky Lynch thing, which to me is it's screwed up. I'm not sure. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. They have do this. They did this whole thing with Becky having to apologize in order to stay into the WrestleMania match, and she went through so many superstars backstage to her decision to ultimately say sorry. And I'm going, really? And then what we got at the end with Vince McMahon, him basically saying Becky's actually suspended for 60 days now for no reason. I'm not sure what the whole reason, like, what's the actual legit reason why she's being suspended for 60 days?
She did attack both Stephanie and Triple H, but he didn't even say it.
People have done worse and got suspended for less.
Ronda Rousey, by the way, got suspended last year on the way to WrestleMania because she attacked Triple H and Stephanie. And then the day after WrestleMania, when Stephanie had the kayfabe cast on her arm, Ronda Rousey put the armbar on Stephanie again and wrote Stephanie off television, and nothing happened to her. She was never suspended.
But then Becky's getting suspended for 60 days, really?
He made it a note to say, just so you know. Well, first of all, he said, "You're not the man, I'm the man." Okay, Vince. And then he said, "Just so you know, you're suspended for 60 days, and that's just 5 days shy after WrestleMania. So I guess you're not going to be in the match." And it just...
And this is the spark, guys. They've officially turned Charlotte into the Roman Reigns of the women's division. Because they bring her out as the replacement for Becky Lynch. And Ronda's all pissed off, and Charlotte was all pissed off. But then there was this weird unity between between Becky and Ronda, which threw me off. I'm like, they shouldn't be like that. These people are ready to rip each other's arms off, and all of a sudden, like, Ronda was like telling her, like, "Oh, I want you in the match." It's like, what? No. So we know this is ultimately going to lead to a triple threat. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. She's not missing WrestleMania. I really don't think there's an undisclosed injury that's happened to Becky. That whole knee thing was storyline. So she's going to be added. They've dug themselves into a hole, though, Michael. Because how are you supposed to write Becky back into the match? You're just going to have Triple H or like Vince McMahon go, "Oh, you know what? Screw the suspension. You're back into it." That's stupid. That's dumb writing right there.
So I've heard plenty of theories that could possibly go down for Becky to get back in there. Just to let you know, the arena that's hosting Fast, I didn't even know there was a Fast Lane. I thought we were going immediately from Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania.
No,
so bad. This is one of the worst pay-per-views ever. Why do they keep bringing back Fastlane?
Yeah, Fastlane's terrible.
Yeah, it is. I always thought the reason why they made Fastlane was to promote Dwayne's movie Fast and the Furious. It never happened. He's never appeared to promote Fast and the Furious. But the arena that's hosting Fastlane is already advertising Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. It seems pretty obvious they're going to have a match, and Becky is going to get back in it. The other scenario, I don't think they should go with it, is they say it's going to be another Daniel Bryan situation where Becky Lynch is going to face Stephanie McMahon at WrestleMania, and if she beats Stephanie McMahon, she'll be entered into triple threat. But that's just freaking rinse
and repeat.
Awful. It is, and this whole thing. Here's the thing. This totally divided anyone who was on social media. It wholly blew up social media when this segment aired. And I got a little bit of hate because I basically said my 2 cents. All the Charlotte fans out there, it's I don't know. I got a little bit of backlash because I said this is dumb.
We're not saying she's bad. Like they take it out of context. We're not saying she's terrible and she doesn't deserve a title match. It's just it's not her place right now. It's Becky's time to. They have to run with it, and that's why we don't like the creative decision of adding Charlotte to the match. Does adding Charlotte to the match make it a better match? Yes. Adding Charlotte to any match is going to make it a better match. She's a great wrestler. We, in our opinion, feel that it's not her time to be there. It should be just one-on-one. You don't need to add Charlotte. That's why we're pissed at. WWE feels the need to add her no matter what. It is not because of her wrestling skill. It's because of the name Charlotte Flair will bring more eyes to it, and they want her to be in everything historical with the women's division that's ever been going to be created. That's the reason why. If you can't see that that's the reason why they're doing it, then you're delusional and you're blind. She is not a bad wrestler. It's just not plain and simple. It's not her time. It's Becky versus Ronda. Should be one-on-one. That's your key match. The crowd was so hyped for that. Everyone was so hyped for that. You didn't need to have Charlotte into this. Creatively they dug themselves into a corner and backed themselves into a corner to try to get Becky back into it. That's plain and simple.
And then meantime, on the other side of SmackDown, Asuka is just being like,
we don't know what the fuck they're doing with Asuka. She's just there. There's no.
Is my phone working?
Yeah, there's
Hello,
no.
Vince. Vince, hi. It's oh man, I got throwing my 2 cents about this. Here's the thing. I agree with everything you said. Charlotte Flair. Listen, we all know that she was going to get into the match. Can we be honest? Can we be real here? We all knew that she was going to get into the match. My problem with this is the way that they did it. We have Fastlane, and we have a couple of months until WrestleMania. The fact that Vince McMahon came out here, number one, Becky Lynch apologized. She didn't want to do it. And I didn't believe all those people, Finn Balor, Ronda Rousey, going up to her and saying, put your ego aside and apologize. Ronda Rousey was the worst by saying, you're putting a dab on the whole women's revolution if you don't apologize and we don't get this match. None of you would have done it. I doubt Ronda Rousey would have apologized or Finn Balor would have apologized, but it just, she ends up apologizing and she still gets suspended. I don't understand. They made Becky look like a freaking joke, a fool.
You know what they should have happened here? That I know they were doing that route, and I really didn't agree with it. You know what they should have done?
Just have Becky beat up.
Bayley and Sasha should have done something here. Should have went up to Becky like a 4 horsewoman unity kind of thing. There should have been something here that could have, like, you know, they could have spark another 4, because I know they want to do this horsewoman thing eventually. And they did. They do the whole tease thing. Even when Becky, like, was it the off footage last week of Becky and Bayley doing the 4 thing to each other? They should do something like that. But again, this doesn't make any sense. They've dug themselves into a hole of trying to get Becky back into the match. They should have just left it at how it is. Again, to the Charlotte hater, the Charlotte fan club out there jumping down everyone's throat. We don't hate her. We don't think she's a bad wrestler. It's just not her time. Just wait. Her time should be wait after WrestleMania. Like, it's not. It's set up to have Becky and Ronda go each other one-on-one. That would have made a sick Rock versus Austin type match. But now you've added Charlotte into it just for the sake of adding Charlotte to it. Yeah, okay, it's going to be still a good match, but I'm not going to feel as hyped for Charlotte because she's not going to walk away with the title. It's not going to make me think that that there's a chance Charlotte's going to win, because it's still going to be Becky in the end. So you didn't really. That's why we feel that you don't need to add Charlotte to the match.
I have a huge theory on why they're doing this. Would you like to hear it, Kyle? Because I have a theory. I can sometimes think like Vince. So here's the thing, guys. Ronda Rousey is considered the baby face, even though she gets booed. All right, guys? She's the John Cena. She's supposed to be the hero in this match. She is getting booed. Now, Vince McMahon's thinking, and this is what I'm theorizing right here. You have Charlotte in this match. You have Vince McMahon come out here, parade her, holding her hand like she's the next Roman Reigns. Now the hate is now shifted toward Charlotte Flair. This is their mind. They're thinking we need to get Ronda Rousey cheered. And here's the thing. I will bet, and you heard it here first on the show, all right? So everything is promised. I will bet anyone on the show, and we'll have a drawing if it happens. I will bet everyone a Becky Lynch autograph picture as a prize.
Oh.
If this does not happen at WrestleMania, because this will happen. Somewhere in the match of this triple threat, to get Ronda Rousey over, you're going to have Becky Lynch and Charlotte double team Ronda Rousey, and then to get the boos, try to get the boos on Charlotte and Becky Lynch. So if you're a fan out there and you guys watch this show, do your part by cheering Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch as a way to basically tell the WWE your plan failed. All right? Daniel Bryan, the Yes Movement. Us fans, we took over the WWE and we can do it again. So at WrestleMania, when Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and I'm betting an autograph picture of Becky Lynch, if it doesn't happen, when they start double teaming Ronda Rousey, as Vince's plan goes, oh, they're going to get booed, right? I invite everyone in New York to cheer this segment on. Do it. We all know Ronda Rousey's leaving for a little bit of, she's leaving after WrestleMania for a long vacation. Do your part. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, this girl right here, all right? Boo this girl.
Boo this girl.
Cheer Charlotte and Becky Lynch, all right? It's going down. Okay. And by the way, I already see a lot of people saying, well, don't worry, Becky Lynch is still going to win. Guys, we all thought that Roman Reigns was going to take the title off Brock Lesnar last year at WrestleMania, right? For all you know, Charlotte might pin Becky Lynch. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys. You can't trust Vince. No. Don't trust Vince. All right, so there you go.
Speaking of the main roster, we're gonna before we end the show, guys, we're going to give our quick predictions of Elimination Chamber, and I meant to tally up Royal Rumbles to see who's winning so far out of 2019, which we'll get to the results by the next show. But TakeOver, Michael clean swept. I had 3 out of 5. For my Royal Rumble, I had 6 out of 9. I'm pretty sure Michael did, I think, 7 or 8 out of 9. So I think Michael is leading so far with the picks of 2019 between me and him. So we're going to do, we're going to do the Elimination Chamber. So the pre-show match is Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship.
In the pre-show?
In the pre-show, believe it or not, to contrary to belief, it is the pre-show match. So Akira Tozawa won his way into a number 1 contender spot off 205 Live. So he's facing Buddy Murphy. I don't think Akira Tozawa is winning the championship, plain simple. Buddy Murphy's just way too good with that championship right now. It's going to take someone very, very serious to pull that title off. So I'm giving my quick prediction of Buddy Murphy quickly retaining that championship and a decent pre-show cruiserweight match because cruiserweights do a good job. So I'm picking Buddy.
Gotcha. Listen, Akira Tozawa, I like him. Anyone who's ever seen his impression of Vince McMahon, you're fired. Bring it back. But whatever happened to Titus Worldwide? They never explained why he's no longer with him. But anyways, it just proves it seems like a transition feud right now for Buddy Murphy. And I was very surprised that with the whole rumor that Mike Kanellis wants to leave, why wasn't Mike Kanellis the one taking on Buddy Murphy? You might think it's weird that it's heel versus heel, but guys, this is a transition pay-per-view. We all know Buddy Murphy's going over, but it just to give Mike Kanellis a match, that would have been great. But other than that, I agree with Kyle, Buddy Murphy all the way. But I feel like this is going to be a standout match, and it's a true shame that's in the pre-show. And the Cruiserweights continue to be the pre-show when, to be completely honest, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott should be in the pre-show. I'm kidding. No, I'm not.
So we're going to get rid of the matches that don't make sense off the bat. Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Who gives a shit? Seriously, no no disqualification match. Oh, that makes me care about it even more. Who cares? This match means nothing. It's not leading to anything at WrestleMania. I don't care. So I'm picking Braun Strowman to literally decimate Baron Corbin. If Baron Corbin wins against Braun Strowman, consider Braun Strowman never to recover from this ever again. I'm just saying. Plain simple. And Baron Corbin's my boy. I loved Baron Corbin before this current shit. But I'm just saying, if Baron Corbin wins, Braun Strowman's dead.
What a fall from grace from Braun Strowman. He's basically like the Baron Corbin of last year. Because you know how Baron Corbin had the Money in the Bank? He lost, and then now he's just on this huge downfall. Same thing with Braun Strowman. He had the Money in the Bank. He cashed it in. He lost, and now he's on a huge downfall. And they're totally screwed because I hear Lars Sullivan, he's not doing so well, and we don't know when he's going to make his main roster debut. So I don't know. Push Bobby Lashley is the next big guy in here. But so I actually have a very interesting – I mean, this match is crap. But I actually have a pretty interesting ending to this. So give it up. Hashtag Mockchild Creative. Kyle, you ready?
Okay.
So I was very surprised they made this a very last-minute no DQ. So I have a theory and a prediction on where Braun Strowman is headed for WrestleMania. So if you could see this, no DQ. And at the end of the match when it looks like Braun Strowman is about to win – lights go out. We get the whole cheer. Bray Wyatt appears. He's finally here. And he screws over Braun Strowman. Baron Corbin gets the win. And they finally do the feud that I've been wanting for a long time. Teacher versus former student. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. I don't understand why Bray Wyatt has not been on TV. They've been saying they might repackage him. Why? His character is great.
Yeah. He's
a great heel. And they need more of it. I don't understand this. But my prediction is Bray Wyatt makes a surprise return, screws over Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. There you go.
All right. So out of the match outcome, you picked Strowman, correct?
No. Well, he's going to get screwed over, so Baron Corbin's coming out on
by
top.
DQ. Or not by DQ, but by
pin.
By pin. Yeah, that's right. No disqualification. Can't really talk about this match because we don't know what's going on with the whole match itself. So I don't think we can give a prediction because was it Jay or Jimmy Uso just got in trouble recently with the police, and there's been no word yet if this match is even happening or not. So,
I hear it might happen, but I hear this match might be switched to a cage match. Ooh, bad joke. Too soon. Jimmy, Sorry.
Even
Sorry, guys.
Whether the case, if this match actually happened, I really didn't think the Usos were going to win anyways. So I'm just gonna quickly pick Miz and Shane to win here, and I kind of thinking this is going to lead to Miz versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania with them still holding the tag team belts, but it's going to lead to their deception, and they're going to face each other one-on-one with the tag. It's happened before. Shawn Michaels and John Cena, they faced each other before as tag team champions, so there's the way for this to happen. So I'm going with quickly Miz and Shane. Sorry, guys, I have to rush the picks. It's due to time constraints today. I have to rush the picks, so I'm picking that.
Gotcha. Miz and Shane McMahon, and I'm with you. I didn't think the Usos were ever going to win, no matter what personal stuff went on in their lives. So,
this weird handicap match for the IC title, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush and Finn Balor. Okay, this does not lead to me to think that Finn Balor is coming out on top as much as the numbers game is against him. I can kind of see a Finn Balor winning at WrestleMania. I think they're going to save this title shot opportunity for Finn Balor. I think either he's going to stick in the IC title picture. So in some way or some form, Lashley and Lio Rush are going to come out on top and retain the championship here. I can't see it wouldn't make sense for Finn Balor to win the title here, although don't take the AEW effect out of place here. If they do, we all know the reason why. But I'm going to stick with Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush.
Gotcha. I'm going to go with, I actually think Finn Balor is going to win. It's very odd. It's a handicap match, and they never do stuff without any reason. So I feel like Finn Balor is going to win the IC title, but by pinning Lio Rush. And you can plug as Bobby Lashley. Yeah. He never lost, and I don't know if this might create some tension. But Lio Rush is really good with Bobby Lashley, who's horrible on the mic, so I hope they stay together. But Finn Balor winning IC title by pinning Lio Rush.
So saving the women for the last, best for last here. We'll start with Ronda and Ruby Riott. Singles match for the women's championship, and you brought up earlier in the show, Michael, that they haven't been really doing anything with Ruby Riott. I actually believe this is done on purpose, and I believe with a lot of other podcasters out there who are saying this, that they think there's a chance that Ruby Riott could win the championship here. I see what their opinions are, and I kind of say, okay, and then maybe Charlotte, is facing Ronda now with no championship, and she kind of gets pissed about it. And then maybe this leads to Becky winning the championship from Asuka and saying, well, I got the title belt. If you want me in the match, you have to include me in the match with the title belt. So maybe they go that direction. That's something different. And that's how they get Becky into the match. So I actually like that idea. It's really outlandish, but I really love that idea. So I'm going to actually stick with that. And I'm actually picking Ruby Riott here to walk out with the women's championship. Yeah.
Yep.
To be
For me, it's just... marketing wise for a business, it just seems more money that Ronda Rousey enters WrestleMania. I'm going outlandish with that one. Fair enough. And it just, man, it'd be out of the blue. But for me, I'm just gonna have to go Ronda Rousey retains. But we'll have to. This is gonna be a whole annihilation. They're gonna do what they always do, just like the Bella Twins. They're gonna have Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan out here, and Ronda Rousey push through the odds. She pushed down Liv Morgan. She pushed down Sarah Logan. She's basically taking on 3 people. Man, the push on Ronda Rousey's 2. It's getting into Roman Reigns territory, but
it is
Ronda Rousey for me. So there you
go. This is interesting. So I say the interesting one for last because it's the Women's Tag Team Championship, the inaugural match in an Elimination Chamber match. So you look at the teams right now, and I'm going, okay, it screams Bayley and Sasha winning the championship, but my personal opinion is I think this is going to start. I think we're getting Sasha versus Bayley at WrestleMania. I think we're getting that as a 1-on-1 straight up match at WrestleMania.
But they went the tag team counseling.
Yes, but I think something's going to happen here in this match that's going to spark something. So I don't think they're winning it. I'm picking an odd off the page pick here. I think Nia Jax and Tamina are going to be the first ever women's tag team championship. It sucks, but they love doing the thing with Nia Jax. They're pushing her with the whole. They
love Nia Jax.
So I'm picking Nia Jax and Tamina to be your first ever women's tag team champions.
Ooh. All right, so. Okay, I literally just thought of this, but I have a very funny pick for the last match with the men's SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. Guys, I need you guys to remember that Kyle picked Nia Jax and Tamina because it's going to play a huge part. Anyway, here's the thing. So I feel like I want Bayley and Sasha to win, but I really like your idea that this might lead to a feud. I will accept it on one condition. that Bayley screws over Sasha and she gives her greatest tagline of all time. Sasha, you ain't shit. She does that, I'll be happy. But other than that, I'm picking Bayley and Sasha to win. I feel like they're still going to work toward this whole 4 horsewomen thing. So for me, Bayley and Sasha taking the titles. Because they are starting first in the match. And WWE always do that predictable underdog. Oh, they're starting first. They're obviously going to win it. By the way, just to throw this out there, and I apologize, Kyle, I know you have to go, but I just want to throw one thing in the last match, Ronda Rousey and Ruby Riott. So they did announce Charlotte Flair says she bought a ticket and she will be in the fans. So she will be watching. I don't know if Charlotte's going to play any type of role in the outcome of this match, but Charlotte will be at ringside for that match. So back to you, Kyle.
Well, as for the main event here, which is surely to be the main event, WWE Championship, for the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship, you got Daniel Bryan, Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, the new Addy, because Mustafa Ali is hurt.
Muhammad Hassan?
Mustafa Ali is injured with a concussion, apparently, like real, not kayfabe. He's actually like hurt. To me, I'm sorry, I got to go the predictable route, and Eric Rowan is going to somehow help Daniel Bryan, which we get another debut of Luke Harper for another person to be added to this faction, or do they do the Bray Wyatt angle? Daniel Bryan is going to have some sort of help to retain the championship here. I can't see any of the others winning. It'd be cool if Styles retained, but just with the new championship that just debuted, it can't end that quick. So Daniel Bryan's going to be carrying that title into WrestleMania. So Daniel Bryan retaining the championship here is my guess.
Gotcha. I'm going to go with the obvious pick, Daniel Bryan. Damn, this sunlight right here. I have Daniel Bryan winning. It seemed like a pretty obvious pick, and it seems like he is going to get help, because why did you have Eric Rowan align him with Daniel Bryan if he's not going to help him in any type of outcome whatsoever? I do have a funny thing that's going to happen in this match. I brought it up when Kyle was talking about how he wants Nia Jax and Tamina to win. So here's the thing. Here's a funny thing, and it's actually even more so funny with Kofi. If Nia Jax does not win the women's tag team titles, check this out. In this match, in the Elimination Chamber match, this happened to Kofi a long, long time ago. Kyle, if you remember this, there was an Elimination Chamber where Edge attacked Kofi Kingston and stole his spot into the Elimination Chamber match. I feel Nia Jax is going to run down, beat up Kofi Kingston, because why else did he get that huge advantage in the gauntlet match on SmackDown? And Nia Jax is going to be in the Elimination Chamber, baby. Here we go. Intergender matches. Nia Jax. She's probably going to get pinned first because everyone's going to do the finishers on there. And then
another Randy Orton RKO again.
Yeah, and then the whole social media is going to blow up. Why are they doing this? Why are they beating up on women? Nia Jax looks so bad. But, guys, it's going to happen. Nia Jax, you heard it here first on this show. This is an NHWB exclusive. Guys. Oh, No Holds Barred Network. Sorry.
That's all right.
Botch. No Holds Barred Network exclusive. This is what happens when I talk about Nia Jax. You guys heard it here first. The prediction is Nia Jax attacking Kofi, and she's getting in that Elimination Chamber, baby. So there you go. There you go. My prediction. It's wild, but I don't care because it's the main roster, and I could care less. So there you go.
So, guys, those are our Elimination Chamber picks. Sorry for the time constraint. Got to cut the show a little bit short today. Datila did mention that she had some tweets, but I answered all of them throughout the show, so I do apologize for that. Datila, I love to answer your tweets, but if I answer them already, I'm sorry. Guys, you can tweet us throughout the week. Tweet us at TheNEXT Pod, or tweet Ask The Next for your questions throughout the week. You guys want us to answer in the show. Also, like I said before, guys, with the network, I have it on the screen for you guys. Go check out the No Holds Barred Network, your #1 source for wrestling podcast content. With the NXT Podcast, Lowdown Show Retro, All Elite Podcast, and Near Fall News UK. We're available to listen to on YouTube, iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, and Stitcher Radio. Like I said before, guys, thank you for tuning in to the show, episode number 16 of the the NXT Podcast.
I screwed you up, didn't I?
Yeah.
I screwed you up.
One Trick Pony. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, go follow us on Twitter at TheNEXT Pod. Follow myself at Real Kyle Masters, and follow my co-host at Michael Chow TV. That's going to wrap it up, guys. I'm your host, as always, and the CEO of the No Holds Barred Network, Kyle Masters. Always joined by my co-host. He is the host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood Michael Chow. And, guys, thank you for tuning us live on YouTube.com. Might make this a regular thing. And we're always reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.
Yes, Jimmy to AEW. Bye.